Hello, this is Dr. Brown. This is a Zoom video broadcast for November the 5th, 2019. Next page, we have the agenda. We're going to be talking about Test 4 summary results as well as results of all the tests and the homework. Then we're going to work Test 4, talk about plans for the final exam, and do a brief overview of a practice file, which is on D2L now and also on my website. Looking at the class grades, starting with test 1, the median score in the class was 80%. Test 2, the median score was 83%. When we got to test 3 on modeling, the median score was 65%. And for the latest test on probability, the median score was 55.1. So a lot of students found probability harder than the other topics. This also seems to be the case when I talked to Dr. Andrews, the chair of the math department. He says this is typically what we see on test 4, especially if a lot of homework was not done. So what I would like everybody to do is get ready for the final to review any problems they missed on any of the tests. Also have a summary here of the median homework grade, 76.6%. For the quizzes, dropping the lowest grade, 76.8, and 73.1 for the overall score for all of the tests and homework. Now we're going to look at test 4. The first problem was to fill in the blanks. 2 events are dependent. If the outcome of one does not affect the probability of the other event. 2 events are mutually exclusive. If they cannot occur together. 2 events are overlapping if they can occur together. 2 events are independent. Excuse me. This fourth one is observational. Observational probability is determined by the number of ways an event can occur divided by the total number of observations. In this particular case, you're probably doing an experiment or taking a poll trying to figure out the percentage of people who believe this or believe that, or how people respond in various ways. The next one is theoretically or theoretical. Theoretical probability is determined by the number of ways an event can occur divided by the total number of outcomes. This is probably where you actually use mathematics to theoretically determine probabilities. 2 events are independent. If the outcome of one does not affect the probability of the other event. And then finally, the ratio of the number of ways an event can occur to the number of ways an event cannot occur is called odds. That is also equal to the probability of the event occurring divided by the probability that the event does not occur, denoted by E with a bar over it. Question 2 was on calculating odds. The probability of the Seattle Mariners winning the World Series is 2 out of 35. What are the odds of the Mariners winning the World Series? Well, the odds equals the probability of the event occurring divided by the probability of the event not occurring. And the probability of the event occurring, we already know, is 2 out of 35. So the probability of the event not occurring is equal to 1 minus 2 out of 35, which is equal to 33 out of 35. So the odds would be 2 out of 35 divided by 33 out of 35, which is 2 to 33. So the odds are 2 to 33. Now, what's the probability of the Mariners not winning? The answer here is not correct. This was a printout of a particular student's paper. We've already calculated the odds of them not winning, and that is 33 out of 35, which is equal to 0.942857 in decimal. And then what are the odds of the Mariners not winning? It's basically the reciprocal of the odds of them winning, which would be 33 to 2. So the odds are 33 to 2. We have a poll showing that 71% of Americans say they believe that some psychics can help solve murder cases. What's the probability of randomly selecting someone who does not believe that some psychics can help solve murder cases? Well, the probability, those that believe, probably that someone believes, is equal to 0.71. So the probability of not believing is going to be 1 minus 0.71, which is 0.29. So the answer is 0.29. Number 4, a group of people were asked if they owned the dog. 217 responded yes, 239 responded no. Total responses is equal to 456 if you just add them up, 217 plus 239. So the probability that you own a dog person is chosen at random is going to be 217 out of 436. And there is the answer. Now, Kimberly owns or buys a bag of cookies. It has 6 chocolate chip cookies, 8 peanut butter, 5 sugar cookies, and 8 oatmeal cookies. What is the probability that if she randomly selects a chocolate chip cookie from the bag, eats it, then randomly selects another chocolate chip cookie? First of all, notice that there are 27 cookies total. Add up all the cookies and 6 chocolate chip. So the probability of 2 chocolate chips in a row would be, there are 6 in there to start. 6 out of 27 would be for the first cookie, first draw, first pick. And then there are 26 left and 5 chocolate chips left. So the probability is going to be the product of 6 over 27 times 5 over 26, which is equal to, let's go ahead and divide by 2, and then divide 3 into 27. So the answer is going to be 5 over 9 times 13, which is equal to 5 over 117. So the probability is 5 over 117. Question 6. We're given a table here, and the grades and the gender for the grades are summarized below. We want to figure out the probability that if one student is chosen at random, find the probability that the student was male or got an A. Well, there were 27 males, which also included 17 that got an A. And there were 14 females that got an A. So the males were 27, and the female A's was 14, given a total of 41 that were either male or got an A. So the probability of male or got an A would be 41 out of 68. Problem 7. The jar contains 8 red marbles numbered 1 through 8 and 11 marbles that are blue numbered 1 through 11. If a marble is chosen at random and you're told that the marble is blue, very important to understand that. What is the probability that it has a number 3 on it? Well, we're told that it's a blue marble, so we only need to look at this group here for the first question. And it has one on it that has a number 3. So the probability of 3 given it's a blue marble, is going to be 1 out of 11. Now the next one, the first marble is replaced and another marble is chosen at random. If you're told a marble has the number 10 on it, what's the probability that the marble is blue? Well, notice that the first set of marbles are 1 through 8, which won't have a 10. So if we're told that it has a 10 on it, the probability that it is blue, given it's got a 10 on it, where the blue ones only are numbered, including 10, it's just going to be 1. It's the only one that could possibly be. It's got to be blue. It couldn't be a red because the reds did not have a number 10. There were some other variations on the test. Another variation was if you're told it had a 3 on it. What's the probability of drawing blue? Well, if you look at both sets of marbles, the first set has a 3 because it's numbered 1 to 8. The second set has a 3. So there are 2 marbles with a 3. So the probability of it being blue, given that it's a 3, is equal to 1/2. You've got 1 blue one and 1 red one. The probability that it's blue is going to be 1/2. Now, a jar contains 12 red marbles and 23 blue marbles. If you reach in the jar and pull out 2 marbles at random at the same time, find the probability that both are red. Well, first you need to count up the marbles. There are 35 marbles. The probability that they're both red since there are 12 red marbles to start out of 35. So the first draw, probability is 12 out of 35. And then there are 34 marbles left with 11 now having that are red. So this is the total probability, 12 times. 12 divided by 35 times 11 over 34. We can reduce this fraction to 6 times 11, which is 66, divided by 35 times 17, which is 595. So the probability is 66 over 595. Number 9, Mama Jones sells on pizza. They have 4 types of crust. 5 types of cheese. Meat toppings. 3 of veggie toppings. 6. So the total number of different pieces that you could order would be 4 times 5 times 3 times 6, which is equal to 360. Number 10, you got a school dance committee that's being put together of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. You need 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 4 juniors, 5 seniors. And you have eligible 7 freshmen, 8 sophomores, 7 juniors, and 8 seniors. How many ways can the committee be chosen? Well, you need to look at the possible combinations. So the possible freshmen is going to be a combination of 7 things, taking 2 at a time. Because you got 7 freshmen that are available and you need to pick 2. And that combination, as you calculate it on your calculator, is 21. Now, the possible sophomores is going to be, you have 8 available and 3 to pick. Combination of 8 things taken 3 at a time is equal to 56. The possible juniors is going to be combination of 7 juniors that are available, taking 4 at the time, because there are 4 that you have to pick, and that is equal to 35. And finally, the possible seniors on the committee would be a combination of 8, taking 5 at the time. You have 5 seniors that you need to pick and 8 available, and that is 56. So the total possibilities is going to be 21 times 56 times 35 times 56 equals 2,304,960. Quite a large number of possibilities. Problem 11, Lucy Fur must supply 5 different bags of chips for a party. She has 15 varieties of chips at her local grocer. How many different selections can she make? This would be a combination of 15 things, taking 5 at the time, which is easily put in your calculator, and it's 3,003. Number 12, 9 sprinters have made it to the Olympics in the 100-meter race. How many different ways can the gold, silver, and bronze medals be awarded? Well, you start out with the gold, and you have a choice of 9. Once you've awarded the gold, you got a choice of 8 for the silver. And then for the bronze, you have 7 possibilities. So the total is equal to 9 times 8 times 7 equal 504. possible ways of awarding the medals. This number was incorrect. It's 504. Number 13 is to find the expected value if you play the game with various colored marbles. You have 1 gold marble, 7 silver marbles, 20 black marbles. If you draw a gold, you win $4. If you draw a silver, you win $3. If it's black, you lose $1. So to calculate the expected value, we need to look first at the outcomes, all the possibility, and then the value of that outcome, and then the probability of that outcome. Well, the first outcome is if you get the gold, you win $4. Probability, since there's 1 gold marble out of the total of 28 marbles, the probability would be 1 out of 28. If it's silver, you get $3. And since there are 7 silver marbles, the probability is 7 out of 28. And finally, the number of black marbles. You will lose $1, and the probability of getting a black one is 20 out of 28. And so the expected value is equal to 4 times 1 over 28 plus 3 times 7 over 28 minus 1 times 20 over 28, which is equal to 4 plus 21 minus 20 over 28 is equal to 5 over 28, which rounded to the nearest cent is 0.18. So actually the expected value is to win about 18 cents. Now, the PTO is selling raffle tickets to raise money for classroom supplies. And a ticket costs $2. There'll be 1 winning ticket out of 150. The winner gets a prize worth $78. Find the expected value. Well, here we need to, again, write out the outcome. The value and the probability. And if the outcome is that you win, get the winning ticket, the value is going to be $78 minus the $2 you paid for the ticket. And the probability is 1 out of 150. And if you lose, you'll lose $2. And the probability of losing is 149 over 150. And the expected value is equal to 76 times 1 over 150 minus 2 times 149 over 150, which is equal to minus 222 over 150, which is minus $1 $1.48. So the expected value is negative $1.48. Number 15 has to do with normal distributions. In a normal distribution, we all know that 50% is above the median. If you have the median or mean, 50% of the data is to the right or above the median, and 50% is below the median. Using the 99%, 95, and 88 and 68% rule, we know that 68% is within one standard deviation. That's plus or minus 1 sigma of the mean. And 95% is within 2 standard deviations of the mean. And then 99.7% is within 3 standard deviations of the mean. Now we have a particular problem here. The depth of the snow in your yard is normally distributed with a mean of 2.5 and a standard deviation of 0.25 inches. The value that's 1 standard deviation below is 2.25. That's basically 2.5 minus 0.25. And the value 1 standard deviation above 2.75. So that's these answers. What's the probability that a randomly chosen location will have a depth between minus 1 standard deviation and plus 1 standard deviation? Well, that's exactly the area here, which is 68%. Number 17 has to do strictly with the standard normal distribution, which all our notes say has a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. That's the simple answer. Number 18, you had to fill in this normal chart where you had a mean of 53 minutes and a standard deviation of 2 minutes. This is a little bit offset, but the mean is 53, then add 2, add another 2, and another 2, and you get 55, 57, and 59 for 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations above, and then subtracting 2, you get 51, 49, and 47 for minus 1, minus 2, and minus 3 standard deviations. Finally, we have a normal distribution has a mean of 108, and standard deviation of 10. Find the z-score. Well, the z-score is the x value of the data point minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So in this case, the data value is 135 minus the mean, which is 108, divided by the standard deviation, which is 10, and this is equal to 27 over 10, equal 2.7, and that is test 4. I would suggest that everybody look at test 4 and figure out which problem you missed and learn how to work it so you'll be in good shape for the final exam. Now we're going to talk about the final exam, which will be either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, December the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Most of the exams will be given at the test centers, but you will have the option of using ProctorU if you're too far away from a test center. If you're going to go to a test center, you need to pick either Swainsboro, Statesboro, or Augusta. And I need to get in touch with them and tell them what the schedule is going to be. So I want you to tell me by Friday the 15th about the place or whether you're going to use ProctorU. So pick your place, pick your date, and then pick AM or PM. The test centers are open from 8 to 5, that's 8 AM to 5 PM, except Augusta closes at 3 PM on Friday. So bear that in mind. I would prefer you take it at a test center unless it's too far, in which case it can be done on ProctorU. The tests will be paper, multiple choice tests at the test centers, and the tests for ProctorU will be on D2L, still multiple choice. It'll be the same test. And the ProctorU will be given the password for you to get into the test as you take it. They will put in the password for you. More about the ProctorU. It costs about $25. You can sign up for ProctorU, and we'll go to this website in just a moment and sign up. And you'll, after you sign up and get a username and a password, you need to then pick any 2-hour period during the 72-hour final exam period. I would suggest you do that at least a week ahead of time to make sure you got the place you want. Your Wi-Fi, your internet, your computer, and your camera must be in great shape and must be tested and fast. And you'll also need to take, if you're taking it on ProctorU, is take an allowed formula and note sheet, which I will provide for everybody. I suspect it will be attached to the test in the test centers. Let me briefly go to ProctorU, show you what you need to do. Yeah, it looks like here is ProctorU. When you get to ProctorU, after you already have a login, you'll log in here. But to sign up, you'll go here, tell them that you are a test taker. Select your institution. You can put in East Georgia State College, your name, your last name, pick a username, which I suggest that you pick your East Georgia email address, and then of course put your East Georgia email address and pick a password. Your time zone will be US Eastern. Put in your mobile phone and any other phone numbers you have for them to contact you. Most people will only have like a cell phone. And then your address, zip code, and everything, and sign the terms and conditions. And then you will have an ID and a password. Then after you do that, you will then go in and sign up for the test. So you go into your user login, and I can't do that because I'm a student. I mean, I'm an instructor. But here is what I would do. I would sign in, and I haven't done it yet, but I'll add a new test, and it'll be an exam that will be the math 1001 final exam. And then it will appear when you log in, and you will pick that exam and then pick a 2-hour period over the 3 days. And so you can take it whenever you want to. Then what happens is you will go on the day you take the test and log into East Georgia. And I'm going to do it here. And you will go to D2L. And right now I'm going to show you the practice final that I've already put on the website. But you can go ahead and start using you go into quantitative skills and reasoning. And by the way, I've put data up here for the update on the final exam options. But to take the practice final, to get yourself ready, go into quizzes. And notice I've already gotten a math 1001 practice final. And you go in there and you will take the test. There is a password that I put on there that you can have, and it's EGSC in lowercase. That's in the information I've already sent out to you. So you can take the test at least, I think it's 3 or 4 times. And I will show you in a moment what I plan to do, give you some extra points if you do that. Here is how I would like for you to prepare for the final exam. First of all, learn how to work all the problems missed on tests 1 through 4. Take the practice final on D2L. The password is EGSC in lowercase. And I will add some extra points if you will do this. If you make 90 on homework, I'll add 3 points to the final exam score. If you make 80, I'll add 2 points. If you make 70, I'll add 1 point. If you don't make 70, I won't add any points. I also suggest that you go to another practice final I call version 2 is on my webpage. And you can go and take a look at that, which we will in a moment. And then you can watch the video that I will put up on how to work the practice final. Another thing I want to emphasize here, I've decided that if you pass the final, you will pass the course, even if the average before the final is a D or failing. So I want you to prepare for the final, ask for help, and be sure that you look at the practice final and ask for any help that you might need. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to my webpage to the course site. And notice this is what you've been using, I presume, most of the semester, the different practice tests. Well, here is the final exam, the final practice. And I will put up a final practice video to show how to work that. But if you click on this, here are the various problems you will need to know how to work on the final. We're going to be looking at sets. We're going to look at Venn diagrams. All of this is new stuff. You'll be looking at propositions and how to negate a particular proposition. I think you'll find this pretty simple. We'll be getting into truth tables and looking at the and we'll have some that have the or and the not. If you watch the videos for this coming week, you will, in fact, if you watch the videos for this week and next week, you'll see these terms there. You'll be looking at statements that are either true or false. Now I'm trying to figure out. Okay. I'm going to have to cut this part out, or maybe I won't cut it out. I'm going to go back to it. Here's the final practice. And for some reason it froze for a second, but basically you can see the kind of problems we've got: deductive and inductive reasoning. Then we've got some probability that you already know how to work or should know how to work. We got expected values. We got sampling methods, which you should know about. Identifying the proposition or identifying the population in a study. Find the range of data. Find the modes. Be able to calculate average monthly costs for a budget. Interest problems. Monthly payment problems. Linear functions, exponential functions, growth and decay, validity of a chain of conditionals, which you'll be studying this week and next week, more Venn diagrams, and so forth, pie charts, calculating the median for sample data, finding the 5-number summary, some more counting problems, some more linear problems, and that's it. If you folks can work the practice tests or practice final, you should be able to do well on the final exam. And call me if you have any questions. So that is the video.